Does it make it worse when some of those animals are delicacies and it's actually makes it more profitable if I keep them live in a market and I want to eat it or is that just a small percentage of how that can occur? I'm talking about bats in like a wet market in Wuhan where I wouldn't see that necessarily in London. Is that really play a big part, or is that just something as Westerners that we play up too much?
It plays we haven't been able to get the kind of granularity as says what's the relative contribution of this or that. Certainly consumption of bats as a protein source, it may seem bizarre to us, but it's no different in some ways than consuming a turkey. It's an animal and it provides protein for people. But we also know that bats are places that they occupy places that are also frequented for industrial practices. Bat guano, bat shit, is a major source of nitrogen for a number of different projects. We find them certainly for fertilizer, emulsifiers, and makeup come from bat guano. And so you've got major operations in different regions of the world where people are going into these caves, harvesting bat guano and bringing high exposure. So there's a number of practices that are out there that can bring exposure. This other about the primary reservoir might be a bat, but we saw, let me give you an example, in Malaysia in 1999, an incredibly dangerous pathogen called Nipah virus circulates in bat populations in that region of the world. And there was an extraordinary event where we began seeing a dramatic increase in people who were being infected and dying from the Nipah virus. It's one of the most deadly viruses we have out there. 70% of the people who are infected die. And what we traced it back to was a pig farm, was moved into a jungle area. They knocked down the trees, built an open air pig farm. And the bats that accumulated in the surrounding forests tended to have roost in the enclosed huts of the pigs, and they would hang upside down and drop feces, and they infect the pig got infected with the Nipah virus, and then the farmers got exposed either through slaughtering. And so it was indicative of how a bat can transfer the virus to another animal, and that animal then becomes, whether it's a pig or a civet cat, as in the case of SARS in 2003. So there are lots of different routes and ways that we can look at the movement directly and indirectly.
Okay. And that scenario you're talking about, I think, was shown in the movie Contagion, right? The very last scene, that was that
exactly
bat.
Right.
Bat
Anyone
to
who
pig.
wants to get a really graphic illustration, go on to YouTube and type in "end of Contagion." And there is a 1.5-minute clip that walks you through precisely that. And it was absolutely based on that Malaysia model event in 1999. It's evidence, it's a clear example, and the movie does a brilliant job in illustrating how a virus in a bat can end up even in someone like Gwyneth Paltrow.